YouTube. How we doing, family? It's your boy, Yo. And this is another episode of Yo Hoops. We go through every NBA game every day. Today's Sunday, March 16th, and we have an 8-game NBA card. I'm going to walk you through every game, let you know which sides I like, and stick around because I'll let you know my highlighted play of the day. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your favorite games in the comment section below. Without further ado, let me get into today's recap. Recapping yesterday, I got torched. I mean, absolutely smoked by the books. We dropped our highlighted play of the day. We took the Houston Rockets laying 8.5 points against the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls really kept it competitive all game, and the Rockets ended up winning 117 to 114. That's how I lost a majority of the games yesterday, too. Our team won, but didn't cover the spread. I guess that's how it goes when you rock with so many favorites. Regardless, that's in the past, and I'm looking for a big win today. Let's get back in that win column, and without further ado, let me get into today's games. Both the Magic Cavs and Sixers Mavs games are going to start right as I upload this video, so I won't go too much into depth. In the first one, I am leaning towards the Magic plus the 10. Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley are both questionable for the Cavs, and if Donovan doesn't play, I think we're getting value on this line. The Magic have been competitive recently, and I wouldn't be surprised if they have a chance to win this game outright down the stretch. Next, I like the under 225 in the Sixers and Mavs game. Both teams are so banged up that I don't think they have the offensive firepower to get over this high total. I think we see a lot of missed shots in that one, and that gets us under. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Phoenix Suns in Los Angeles taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers are laying 3 points, and the total is 229. The Suns come into this one at full strength, but the Lakers injury report is concerning here. LeBron James and Rui Hachimura are still out. Luka, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Gabe Vincent are questionable. Then Dalton Knecht and Jackson Hayes are probable. The Suns haven't been a team I've liked to back often this season, but they really need to win this game. They currently sit in the 11th spot in the West, just 2 games behind the Mavs for the last play-in spot. Luka does own Devin Booker, so that does make me nervous, but at full strength, the Suns should be able to come through in a must-win. This line opened at Suns plus 4.5, so I'm going to try and find at least Suns plus 4, but I do lean towards the Suns plus the 3 points as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Atlanta Hawks in Brooklyn taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Hawks are laying 6 points, and the total is 229.5. The Nets come into this one on the second leg of a back-to-back, flying from Boston back home to Brooklyn. They played a tight game against the Celtics last night, so I do expect no rest to play a factor here. The Hawks on the other side have been hooping. They've won 4 of their last 5 games and currently sit in the 7th spot in the East, just 1 game ahead of the Magic. The Hawks are at least going to make the play-in, and I expect them to be locked in down the stretch. Trae Young is probable. I expect him to go here, and the Hawks should have no problems airing out the Nets on the second leg of a back-to-back. We're taking the Hawks laying the 6 as our highlighted selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Toronto Raptors in Portland taking on the Portland Trailblazers. Blazers are laying 7 points, and the total is 228. The Raptors injury report is starting to get lengthy. Jacoby Walter, Emmanuel Quickley, and Grady Dick are all ruled out. RJ Barrett, Baji, and Mogbo are questionable. Then Jamal Sheed is probable. The Blazers injury report is slightly concerning as well. DeAndre Ayton and Jabari Walker are out. Anthony Simons and Robert Williams III are questionable. Then Jeremy Grant is doubtful. The Raptors injury report is more concerning in this one, but they've been hooping through injury recently. None of these are new additions to their IR, and they're still 6-1 in their last 7 games, outright on the money line. I do want to see how this injury report shapes out, but I can't lay 7 points on this competitive Raptors team. We're taking the Raptors plus the 7 as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Charlotte Hornets in LA taking on the LA Clippers. Clippers are laying 13.5 points, and the total is 223. I understand why the Clippers are such big favorites here. They're at home where they've been the best home favorites in the league, and we should see the return of Norman Powell here. He's questionable, but I do believe he goes. thing is, the Hornets stay covering these huge spreads. LaMelo Ball is playing tonight, and as road dogs, the Hornets are now 16, 12, and 1 against the spread on the season. You've been profitable betting with them in this spot. It should take the Clippers a few games to adjust to playing with Norm again, and I don't think they instantly lock in and start winning games by 20 plus points. Don't get me wrong though, the Hornets are still 17 and 49 on the season, but this just feels like too much to lay here, so we're taking the Hornets plus the 13.5 as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Utah Jazz in Minnesota taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Wolves are laying 13.5 points, and the total is 233.5. Looking at the injury reports, the Jazz will be without Keontae George, John Collins, Jordan Clarkson, and Taylor Hendricks. The Wolves come into this one fully healthy. In this game, I think the Wolves are all the way locked in. They're a half game behind the Warriors for the last playoff spot in the West, and this is one of those must-win, winnable games. Players like Gobert, Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, they've been back for a while, and I see this as the perfect storm where they find their rhythm and air out the worst team in the West. We're taking the Timberwolves laying the 13.5 as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our last and final matchup of the evening, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder in Milwaukee taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. Thunder are laying 5 points, and the total is 231.5. Both teams come into this one on the second leg of back-to-backs. The Thunder fly from Detroit to Milwaukee, while the Bucks remain at home. Both injury reports are tentative due to this being a back-to-back, but I still have to lean towards the Thunder. They're the team with travel, and the books have them laying 5 points in Milwaukee. I think the line tells us what we need to know. The Thunder were down big early in that Pistons game last night, but they reminded me just how deep of a team they are. No Jalen Williams, no Chet, no problem. They still won the game by 6 points. I do want to see how the injury report develops for this one, but either way, I'm leaning towards the Thunder laying the 5 as our last and final selection of the evening. And that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Yesterday was a tough one. I know that was actually the worst individual day we've had in any episode of Yo Hoops. But hey, we're still 12-8 on our highlighted plays in March, and let's keep the positive momentum rolling. Let's go get in that win column today. I greatly appreciate you tuning in. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, Yo! And until the next one, I'm going to catch y'all. Peace.